Hey guys, what's up? How are you? I'm back. It's me, Ebot, and this is a episode of Toys in My Closet, but it's going to be one that is a little different. This video I wanted to do it was because of every time a new line of toys comes out based on a new property or based on an old one in this case that you see here, which is DC. There's always a lot of hype behind it, and there's always a lot of back and forth and opinions and thoughts and people saying what's good, what's not, what they like, what they don't like. And particularly, it happens a lot with the DC property because the DC property has just been one of those properties that's been around for a long time in toy form, but has always never really had the consistency, I guess is the best way to say it, of other lines like the Marvel Legends, for example. Even though it did go away for a very long time, difference being, I don't think there was ever a time when the DC license went away or DC Toys. And I think because of that is the reason why it's been so difficult for DC Toys to really keep consistency, whether it's with scale, look, style, and through the years, because they haven't had really a chance to kind of restart with time off from scratch, while having that time off to reassess everything that needs to be reassessed and take a look at the challenges that they where they want to improve and where they feel they don't need to improve, that it's fine. In other words, what's broken and what's not. So as you see, these two figures here for me are very, very high marks for Mcfarlane, starting for the very first time on the DC space and realm with the license. And I think that he's starting off in a very good high note, regardless of what people may think, because most people that don't like the figure, to be honest, from what I've seen, are people that just haven't even invested. They haven't even given it a chance or even bought the figures and had them in hands. They just look at reviewers, see what they think may work, may not work, what they may like, what they may not like, and that's about it. And that's not really a good way to go about it, to be honest with you. As a collector that's been collecting for over 27 years, I've always figured out, and I always found out, almost like with video games, that most of the time you figure out, and you'd be surprised of how well a figure can appeal to you, or how well it, how much you'll like it or dislike it, until you have it at hand in person in your own possession. Just like video games, that you won't know how good or the experience will be, or how much you'll like it, how much you'll dislike it, until you actually play a good amount of the game. Not necessarily the whole game, because some games are longer than others, but a good amount that you get the idea of what it has to offer. It either takes you in or it loses you, just like a movie as well. The only thing is not physical. You don't touch movies, you just see them. It's more of an emotional thing, as opposed to games and figure collecting. It's a little bit of both. It's emotional, and it's also mental, and it's also physical. You touch it, and you get a certain experience from it. So the point of my video is basically, since he started on such a high note, Mcfarlane Toys, right, with these DC multiverse, I want to give my thoughts on what figures I would love to see him bring back that have been in hiatus for a long time, basically, since DC Universe Classics that started with Mattel, when they started getting into the articulation format and all that stuff. And I just picked a few of my own personal choices, and then maybe after I do that, maybe you guys can give me in the comments below what you think would be cool personal choices that you would like to see Mcfarlane tackle in this DC line, particularly for stuff from the comic books, really, and from back in the day stuff that I think would deserves to have a new figure, and I think would translate well, because they've been They haven't been in figure form for quite some time. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a digital drink or a digital beer or whatever that is of your liking. And I hope you hang out with me for a little bit. And I'm just going to show you a few of my selections just to show you guys what I think and why they should, would be nice to see them in figure form, from Mcfarlane especially, with his new multiverse line. So sit right there, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to start off here with my first pick of a figure that I feel should be revisited, retouched, is none other than El Dorado. Now, El Dorado, I believe, was first seen in the back in the day in the Super Friends cartoon. He's not really a really super appealing type looking character, but he is a Spanish, Latin American, type of character. And as you can see here, he has a nice distinctive costume that's very retro, but it would be nice to see him with a new modern take, modern look. You'll would definitely benefit from a new face sculpt, because his face sculpt is very dated and he looks very flat-faced in this interpretation of the figure, but has a nice aesthetic to it, with the gold and the money greens and the reds and the gold and all the stuff with the harness here, just so you guys can take a look. I'll bring him up a little closer and you can see there that El Dorado, I think, is more than deserves to get a nice update, in my opinion. And please keep in mind, excuse me, because I have a really sudden cold. Forgive me for sounding a little funny. Keep in mind that these are picks that I picked based off my own personal collection. There's a lot of figures that I wish I had my hands on that I never got my hands on because they were, obviously way too expensive in the aftermarket, and I don't feel validate the price of what they're asking for. Something such as like Ares or Lobo, or Dr. Fate, beautiful characters that just don't warrant you having to pay $150 for a 6-inch outdated Mattel figure. But that's what's out there. So that's another reason why I feel that these figures should be revisited, so that we can have a second chance in picking them up in a more modernized take, with modernized material and articulation, with a modernized look to them, keeping the essence and the truthfulness of the original looks. So El Dorado is my personal pick from this list that I have here. And remember, this is just my personal thoughts. You guys don't have to agree, but you could definitely tell me what you think you would have had from my list, or what you would not have and had in exchange from my list as well. So let's move on. You guys know he's no stranger, but none other than Bolster Gold. Now, I'm not saying there was something wrong with the Bolster Gold figure from the DC Universe Classics. On the contrary, I think it was one of the best looking figures with such a simplistic look and style, and the fact that they pretty much use the same buck for every figure about 90% of the time. But Bolster Gold just looks really unique, really different, really beautiful looking type of costume, with that nice metallic gold and that nice metallic teal blue, obviously with his little probe in the back. I don't really know the real deep essence and stories of Bolster Gold, but I always thought he was a great looking character. I got my hands on him really not that long ago, to be honest. Just a few years ago, I got him for a good price, open with the metallic color and fully completed. And there was a catch, obviously, but the guy didn't tell me. But I'm still happy to have him, and that's that his head is very loose, so I have to kind of try to take it off and maybe put some nail polish to make it tighter. But Bolster Gold is my second pick on this list of figs I feel that I would love to see Mcfarlane revisit with the new Mcfarlane DC Multiverse line. Moving right along, another hero that's no stranger, but definitely different and obscure that many people probably don't even know of, and that is the Guardian. The Guardian has a very simplistic looking style as well, very similar to Bolster Gold in the sense that it's a blue with a yellow. As a, when Bolster Gold is more of a gold with blue, or a teal, metallic teal. The Guardian is a very cool looking fig, very simple looking, but he looked pretty badass, and I could just picture him with a couple more little details here and there on his legs and his arms, like patches and pouches of stuff, and then his shield and a modernized look on that helmet, and with the articulation that these two young men have. And I think Bolster Gold would be a phenomenal figure to have joined the ranks of this new Mcfarlane line. Remember that another thing what I tried to do with this list is big characters are not really popular. Like we'll get a more than likely another Aquaman, another Wonder Woman, another Green Lantern, another Flash. We know we've been there, done that. But let's get some other cool characters that are very cool, but that only been revisited maybe once in the DC realm. In space as far as adult collectibles. So, moving right along, this is the Guardian, my number 3 in the list. Now, more recently introduced into the DC multiverse universe from Mattel was none other than, as you see in front of you, Mirror Master. And Mirror Master is a really awesome looking figure, very simple, very stylized, very 60s and 70s type look to him. As you see there, he has a nice cool looking scarf hoodie on the top with the big gun pouches on the side, with the orange bodysuit and the nice money green color to the rest of his boots, like his cuffs, his boots, his gun holster, and his mask, obviously. And then he has these really cool weird looking guns that I think project reflections and make people see double or stuff like that. Take a closer look to him. Let's see what he looks like. And there he goes. Really nice figure, but he was recently added to the ranks not too long ago from Mattel, but I would love to see him return in this Mcfarlane line. That is my number 4 choice, which is Mirror Master. Now tell me this guy would not pop and be very sweet in figure form or revisited. This is none other than Mr. Terrific, and he's another not well-known character. He's also an African-American style character, which we don't know or have a lot of in the DC realm. And I think Mr. Terrific, not only he looks fabulous as far as what he looks like aesthetically with his look and his costume, I think he would look at this figure, he still looks great, and he's very old in comparison to what we have with the new line. And Mr. Terrific is just absolutely fabulous as far as what he looks like, and I could just only imagine what Mcfarlane would do with his take to bring him into the DC multiverse line. You can show you real quick, especially with his paint job, his solid eyes, as you can see there. Look at that. Mr. Terrific looks fantastic. Same, jacket like the way they did with Johnny Cage with Mortal Kombat, the same color, and even with a touch of modernized stuff on it, this figure would be a knockout. So my number 5 on the list is Mr. Terrific. My number 6, what can I say? Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. This is what I consider the Rocketeer of the DC Universe. This is none other than Adam Strange, with his boosters, with his gun holster, with his very 60s and 70s style, helmet, and the color palette of red with the white pinstripes and the yellow touch-ups and motifs. that he has, a baby like banana yellow on his boots, his gloves, his shoulder pads. I just think he pops very well, and then the hints of gold and silver on his armor. Adam Strange, I think, is something that will look absolutely badassery if he's touched in the Mcfarlane style and aesthetics from the new DC multiverse. Just look at him. I mean, even this figure now, as it is, in this form as it is, it still holds up very, very well. But definitely would be amazing to look at if he was in the style and aesthetics as the new multiverse. So that's my number 6th. My number 6th, or actually my number 5th in my picks, is Adam Strange. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it was my number 7. This is my number 7th, actually. I was right. Here we have none other than Vigilante. And Vigilante just looks so badass. I could just picture this guy right now being redone with maybe a goose down vest, using the same, aesthetics and style of the original as you see here, with the same belt buckle, same. He's kind of like Deadpool, and kind of like Deathstroke, in the sense that he has like that look to him, like a ninja kind of look, but with the heavy weaponry. He's like a heavy weaponry type guy, and he's just fantastic. He looks great. The whites with the blues, with the blacks, with the hints of yellow. I would love to see what he looks like. I said, plus he has some nunchucks molded in the back there. I would really like to see what he would look like with a brand new interpretation of him in Mcfarlane style, and also with, like, imagine, like I said, like a goose down that's in black, yellow. I mean black, white, and blue with these colors. Plus with the style and look as he has here, but more, modern, of course. He's really awesome. Really, really awesome. Really, really awesome figure. He is something that I think many of you would not mind seeing, and probably many of you don't know what he is. But this is my number 7 in the list. A Vigilante. I would love to see a Vigilante figure. Next, and coming in here, I'm a number 8. Last, but certainly not least, Killer Moth. I mean, look at him. Jesus. Killer Moth is not only super obscure, but he looks so cool. And yes, he lends himself so well to look so badass. Especially with a new interpretation of him. With the orange, the mustard yellows and greens, the yellow on the belt, the kind of fuchsia, reddish or light red wing, the nice, fuchsia purple, orange on his gloves, the golden gun that he has. That's, by the way, the gun I said that was bigger than the bat grapple, and he's a 6-inch figure. And then also the mustard green on his head with the tentacles, the mask that he wears. I think Killer Moth is long overdue to have a brand new figure. Not saying that this figure is bad at all, because this figure is still one of my favorite DC Universe Classics figure, hands down. I just love the way this figure looks. I think he's so cool looking, so different, so unique. That, he's so different. Different, cool looking, the alien looking mask, the symbol of the moth on his chest, his dungaroos, everything about him, the purple. He's a very simple look, but yet so effective. The pinstripes on his pants, going down to the orange boots, his holster placement for his gold gun. Look at his face. Like, he is so badass looking. All red eyes. You know, you guys can agree or disagree with me. That's fine. Everybody's entitled to feel however they feel. But I really feel that he would be like, if they made him, I'll be so happy. I think he really deserves it, to be revisited. He looks just ultra cool. And, it's about time to give him a new update. Killer Moth. So, let's just look at all of them together in a whole stealth shot, and, we'll finish the video there. Excuse me, guys. Here it is, guys. All of them together. This is my pick or my 8 picks of figures I feel deserve to be revisited and deserve to have a brand new figure interpretation in a new DC collection line, like the one that Mcfarlane is offering with the DC multiverse. Please let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Let me know you liked my list. Let me know if you guys didn't like it. And let me know of characters that perhaps maybe you also would like to see that I may not have mentioned. I'm pretty sure there's many, like the Wonder Twins and, Black Falcon and characters like Our Man and even Plastic Man, Swamp Thing. So many awesome DC characters, so many unique DC characters, and obviously, a Deadshot. Seeing a new Deadshot would be really cool. Seeing a new Deathstroke, but they've done Deathstroke many times. That's why I don't really mention characters like him. But nonetheless, let me know in the comments below. Like I said, I hope you liked the video. Thank you for joining. Thank you for stayed with me and checking it out. Please share it with someone you think might enjoy it. And like always, if you're new to my channel and you like what I'm doing and you subscribe, thank you very much, because I know that you don't have to, but if you did, remember, I consider you now part of my family. And if you're new to my channel and haven't subscribed but want to subscribe, hey, please, I from the bottom of my heart, I ask you, please do so, because it will help my channel grow and just get better, especially if you appreciate content like this that is, pop culture related or video game related or, movie related or anything that ties in with figures and video games. You guys get the idea. Anything that connects all these mediums that we love and grew up with and so much adore now as we're older men and grew up with it, as our hobby as adult collectibles and collectors. So one more thing is, if you guys ever want to help me in any way, shape, or form, if you feel that you can and you have the means to, down below in the description I will have the details. You guys will see it from my Patreon and from my PayPal, that if you wish to, please, if from the kindness of your heart, feel free, you can. But remember, you don't have to, because it's not mandatory. So leave a thumbs up or leave a thumbs down if you didn't like. You guys know the drill. That's it. That's my pick. I hope you enjoyed the video. See you on the next one, guys. See you very soon. Thank you for joining me. Love you. See you then. Bye-bye.